Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to the last Club by Club. Taking a look at the Dogs today, and it's a pretty jam-packed one. Actually, I guess the Doggies always are a pretty fantasy relevant team, and there's a stack going on here. I've got a no chance for my side that stings a little bit. He's been one of my favourites, but I've put in a line through him, and then we've probably got, six or seven names that I think are genuinely ones we would consider. So, going to take a look at a lock, breakout, and a risk, and then it is open slather. It is open slather for whatever we sort of want to talk about. So this is my weekend on, and I sort of do 5 days from kind of Friday to Tuesday. So it's a bit busy, so I'll try and get just a couple out over the next few days. But once I get a couple of days off next week, looking forward to that, I'll be able to pump some out, and we can really start to hone in on some sort of team picker stuff, and actually jump into the laptop and screen record and go nuts with all that sort of thing. So that should be good. And the Australian Open starts too. Shorty's off to that on Wednesday, so that should be a bit of fun. So I might even do my prediction for who's going to win the Aussie Open on Sunday or something like that. But enough waffle, let's take a look at the Dogs, and I think their locks are pretty clear cut. One bloke's been doing it for years, and the other, is really finding his sweet spot. Jackson McRae, clearly 129 average again, dominant stuff. He just does it all the time. He just is so consistent, absolute ball magnet. He's a really smart kick, and he just racks up possessions so easy. This Doggies midfield is a well-oiled machine, and he's a big cog in that. So Marcus Bontenpelli as well, averaged to 120, really starting to establish himself as, he's always been a gun player, but it hasn't always been like premium SuperCoach numbers, but it is now. So he's a star, was dominant through the finals, and he's just such a sensational leader, leads from the front. I think you can't go wrong with those two guys. So I think they'll be in a lot of teams. You pay a lot of coin for them, but they are worth it. Now, the breakouts are interesting, and I'm probably more interested to talk about the risks. But look, I'll start with the breakout, and I'm actually going to throw Tim English in there. Now, his numbers went the wrong way. 102 down to 88 last year. And the discussion continued to rage that, he just can't do it on his own. He needs a bit of help from a Steph Martin or whoever it might be over the years. He seems to be a frustration for Luke Beveridge, and I'd love to know if you're a Doggy supporter out there, does he frustrate you? But he still had some really good games from time to time, and clearly some of his poorer scores were ones when he shared the ruck significantly. He's not the finished product, but I just wonder. I still feel like at some point this bloke's going to be a really good contributing ruckman, and at some point is going to be the sort of guy that can get you 15 to 20 touches, take a nice mark, and the occasional goal. So, again, we're not going to pick him, but if he's just sneaking around late in your SuperCoach draft, potentially just chuck him on your bench, backup ruckman. I think there's upside to him. Jamariuglehagen, again, I don't think we're going to pick him, but I just want to throw him in there. I think there was a lot of pressure and expectation on him last year, just the average of 47. Those numbers have to surely go up. All reports are he's a lot fitter this time around, and I don't think there'll be any second year's blues. I think he'll probably improve that average beyond the 20 points, but again, it's probably not enough for us to select. He's just not cheap enough, and he's still going to be inconsistent. So just wanted to chuck him in there. But look, it wouldn't be a Doggies preview without mentioning Bailey Smith, would it? A bit like English, his numbers went the other way too. 92 down to 87. And we saw what he could do in the finals. He can be so damaging. Now, can he do that consistently? I just get the sense that he's going to be a premium one day, but I don't think it's yet. But I obviously, it wouldn't be a complete Doggies preview without mentioning Basilenka. So I feel as if there's just so much going on in that Dogs midfield. They're so hard to get a read on. Aside from their real big dogs, a lot of players flow through there, and Beveridge, we know, can throw anything at us, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it gives us a headache. I don't know if he's high enough up on that pecking order just yet to be going big time 3 figures. He might nudge the 100, he might just get past it, but again, it's not going to be enough for us to select him, I don't think. So they're three blokes that I have in a breakout, but I don't think we'll pick any of them. But I just want to put them on the radar. Now, the risk category is really what I wanted to speak about. And I've put Josh Dunkley in the risk. Now, he could have been a lock, but I'm getting the sense from a few teams that I'm seeing that he isn't an out-and-out lock. And he's a really interesting guy. Mid-forward option now. And we've got your Tarantos, we've got your Duncans who are proving really popular early, and rightfully so. But Josh Dunkley in the right position could be our number one forward. In the wrong position, could have you tearing your hair out, throwing your phone at the wall. Now, first 6 rounds, he's flying. Great pre-season. Luke Beveridge, like, mate, you're going in the guts. You're our guy. And he's averaged 129 across the first 6 weeks. Big tackles, big clearances. He's a ball magnet. Honestly, he could be one of the best SuperCoach scorers going around if he plays that role. Gets injured, doesn't quite find momentum in the back end of the year. Last 5 rounds averages 70.8. And again, found some form at times in the finals, but equally never quite got going. And, you know, his clearance numbers were down, and clearly he didn't quite play the exact same role. So track his pre-season, because all of a sudden we find him, while he's not cheap, he's discounted to what he could be. So keep a close watch on him. Now, Adam Treloar as well, mid-forward option. And gee, if we got this a couple of years back, we would have jumped all over it. But I must admit, I think Treloar is a definite trap, and I don't see him being too popular. We're pretty blessed this year with the forward options. There seems to be a lot going on that we really, really like, and Treloar isn't one of them. Now, the 3 years prior to joining the Dogs, he averaged between 109 and 114 each year. That dropped to 89 last year. Had his injury worries, which are genuine concerns now. He really does keep copping the odd niggle here and there. Now, a bit of a role change as well. He's a bit more outside, and, you know, obviously we get the positional change for SuperCoach as well, so that's no accident. But his contested possession numbers were down, and his clearance numbers were down. Now, I still think he can be a pretty damaging footballer, but just the way his role is, and like I said, the Dogs midfield is stacked. I think Beveridge is trying to use more of his outside blistering pace at times when he's not popping a hamstring, but I still think he's a very good footballer for our SuperCoach team. Probably not. Now, you know, you might have differing thoughts on that, but I think there are better options going around in that forward line that we can select. Now, the fella who's no chance for my team. Now, this time last year, I was saying, pick this bloke. It'll be the easiest SuperCoach ride of your life. You'll just watch him. He'll score 92 one week, 107 the next, 111, 86. He won't do you wrong. But Caleb Daniels shot me in the absolute foot. He killed me. Unbelievable scenes. I thought he's as consistent as they can. And look, at times there was some positional stuff that was just a bit different. Again, Beveridge can do your head in sometimes. He makes me nervous. Picking Doggies players gives me anxiety, because I just never quite know what Beveridge is going to do throughout a year. Now, Caleb Daniel has been as consistent as anything once he moved to half-back line a couple of years back. Just hitting little targets left and right, 20 metres, 15 metres. Easy ride. But that changed last year. And if you watch the Doggies close, I'd love your analysis on what changed exactly. But I know at times he was playing forward. I know at times he copped a little bit more attention down back. And we saw the rise of Bailey Dale, which really did change up the dynamic in terms of kickouts as well. But what really killed me was round 4, he scored 19. Played the full game. I think it was against Brisbane. I think he got tagged by Tom Berry, it might have been. Absolute disaster. Now, in amongst, he still averaged like 94. It's solid. But in amongst his consistency, it went pear-shaped. Round 2, 66. Round 6, 78. Round 11, 61. Round 16, 68. Round 21, 55. Almost every 4 or 5 weeks, just when you thought he was getting back to some consistency, he'd throw in a little stinker. So, can he bounce back? Maybe. Will he be in my side? Absolutely not. And that hurts me to say, because I really love watching him. I think he's the best decision maker in the game, or certainly one of them with ball in hand. He's so measured and just such a smart player, but I don't think I can go near him this year. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, we'll be back with plenty of content. I hope you guys have enjoyed these club by club previews. I must admit, I'm happy they are done. They do take a little bit of time, as I say often, but I'm looking forward to just really opening up in terms of what I can sort of talk about. And again, if you've got anything you'd like to hear, I'd love you to post a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.